Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
A look into the controversy surrounding ISIS and youth recruitment.
They're craving for belonging. That's why they joined the criminal activity.
A new facility for children who have been sexually assaulted has opened in Sherwood Park.
Play therapy, art therapy, movie room, a huge playhouse.
And the new direct American Airlines flight from Edmonton to Los Angeles takes off for the first time.
They will be able to leave on this early morning flight, so they'll get into LA at the start of the business day.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. For many Canadians, it's hard to believe that someone in their own community could be coerced into joining an extreme terrorist organization overseas.
But some are claiming that this could be the case, and Edmonton is a location where youth are being sought out to fight for Islamic militants. Our Lydia Ward joins us live from our news center with more on this story.
ISIS stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria and is becoming a well-known name here in Canada. This group works to recruit people back to Syria, and youth are being targeted. This week, the leaders from Muslim and Somali groups are expressing concern over the youth being drawn into terrorist camps. A petroleum engineering student at NAIT and member of the Muslim Association, Zain Hafiz, has heard stories of insurgents looking here for fresh fighters.
And the reason these youths are following this because they don't have someone to guide them, and some groups, they are choosing them and they are interpret Quran in wrong version. Like let's say they're gonna take one word from one verse and other word from other, so they don't read what is top and bottom.
The Islamic State of Iraq and Syria is an extremist group that formed after Al-Qaeda. The group contacts youth that are new to Canada, don't speak the language, and are socially isolated. This Somali leader in Edmonton fears 6 young men have been targeted locally.
Those who are going there they have no idea what they get into. But they have one in common, which means that they're craving for belonging. That's why they joined the criminal activity of gangs.
The number of recruitments has been increasing. So far, there have been over 150 youth recruitments. However, only 2 of them are directly connected to Somali and Muslim groups. And more being drawn in are simply rumors, say other Somali leaders, as the community of 15,000 in Edmonton say the allegations are damaging to the whole community.
We shouldn't allow these kind of activities. It's beyond religion, it's beyond love, and Islam motto is love for all, hatred for none.
Zain also fears cultural stereotyping, as he says vulnerable youth of every ethnicity may be pawns for radical ideals. ISIS is an ongoing threat, and Mr. Accord has asked the Prime Minister to make programs for the disaffected youth.
So Lydia, why are Somali leaders disputing each other's claims?
It's unclear. The Somali community has been the center of much media attention in recent years with suspected gang activity, and some may be fearing more negative stereotypes in their community. That said, some do insist they are simply being targeted unfairly.
Lydia, what is the federal government doing in regards to Canadians who do leave home for suspected terrorist intentions?
The government passed legislation that allows for Canadian citizenship and passports to be revoked from those who have engaged in serious crime, including acts of terrorism. There is also a new counter-terrorism strategy in place to prevent, detect, and deny resources to any real threats.
Thanks, Lydia. That's Lydia Ward reporting live from our news center tonight.
NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
A unique type of rehabilitation center has opened up in the Edmonton area.
Through public and private funding, this groundbreaking facility aims to support children and families affected by sexual abuse. Bailey Sheets is at the facility with more on what it provides.
After almost 7 years of planning and preparation, the Little Warriors Be Brave Ranch, a facility dedicated to helping child victims of sexual abuse, has opened its doors just outside of Edmonton. The ranch is the first long-term treatment center of its kind in Canada. It is over 60,000 square feet and encompasses over 120 acres of land. It offers the kids an environment of healing and growth tailored to their individual needs.
So it's really a combination of clinical treatment, but then also kids having an environment that they can be kids. So there's a yoga therapy, play therapy, art therapy, movie room, a huge playhouse, a tree house, a rink, a basketball court. Because a lot of kids lose being kids when they've been sexually abused.
The road to the grand opening of the ranch wasn't exactly smooth. The project received $50,000 in government funding a few years ago, but other than that, Little Warriors has relied primarily on public support and donations to fund the facility.
When the government wasn't helping us, the community stepped up and helped us purchase the facility, raise the money for the programming, renovate the facility, and pay for the kids to attend.
The first group of children is set to arrive here at the ranch in October, and they're still looking for community support. If you are interested in helping out, or if you would like to learn more, you can visit their website at bebraveranch.littlewarriors.ca.
Thanks, Bailey. That's Bailey Sheets reporting from the Be Brave Ranch. Rogers Place downtown is entering phase 2 of construction, and so far is running on time and on budget. It can be hard to see the progress of Rogers Place from the ground, but from 28 stories high, you can see how quickly it's all coming together. Over 15,000 steel beams are being installed.
The site has been an absolute beehive of activity. Grateful to say it's in all regards been a well-oiled machine. We're making tremendous progress.
If the project continues on schedule, the arena will open up for the 2016 hockey season.
Edmonton police have confirmed that the death of a woman found in a burning house on Wednesday was a homicide. The 32-year-old victim was found after crews were called to a fire in the Collingwood neighborhood. The cause of death is not being released as the investigation is ongoing and the cause of the fire remains unknown. Detectives have one male suspect in custody. The name of the deceased has been confirmed as Genevieve Lucien Auger.
A new plan for Edmonton's bus routes may mean more walking for the average commuter. The newly proposed bus system could make getting across Edmonton more effective, but at the cost of eliminating smaller neighborhood routes, in turn causing people to walk further distances to access major bus lines. The city has reevaluated the system because Edmonton's population has grown by 60,000 people in the past 2 years, increasing those using public transport, sparking debate between efficiency and convenience.
I take the 15, the 8, the 9, which are all packed now, weren't last year.
The plan has yet to be finalized as City Council is considering the repercussions of the proposed changes.
The City of Edmonton is debating whether or not to change Yellowhead Trail into a freeway. The change would cost the city nearly $700 million to complete. Edmontonians have mixed reaction about the proposed changes.
Well, I think obviously it's definitely a good idea. Traffic is a major issue. The major issue is truck traffic, and it's their inability to accelerate off of stopped situations, so it would certainly help with traffic flow.
The idea is to remove all lights and intersections and replace them with overpasses. This alone could take up to 20 years to complete. The city plans to get a third of the funding from Ottawa, potentially cutting the project's time in half, but the funding has not yet been approved. The plan was presented to City Council this Wednesday.
So far, 10,000 Edmontonians have signed a petition to remove photo radar from the city. Earlier this week, a petition was started by Patrick Diaz, a local man who is frustrated with the current photo radar system. Between 2008 and 2012, the city issued over 1 million tickets, 36% more than predicted. Some argue photo radar is necessary, especially near construction zones and school zones.
Torn between. I guess it's, if you get a ticket, it's better than getting points on your license.
The petition has not yet been submitted. Diaz hopes to first have 100,000 signatures.
The new daily nonstop flight from Edmonton to Los Angeles took to the skies for the first time Thursday morning. This is the second American Airlines flight that is now available to Edmontonians since the first direct service to Dallas was introduced in April. The Edmonton International Airport has shown an 11% increase in travel to the United States so far this year, much more than the typical 3 to 4%.
So the timings of the flight are fantastic for business travelers. They will be able to leave on this early morning flight, so they'll get into LA at the start of the business day. They can do a full day's work, hop on the flight home at 5:45 and sleep in their own bed at the end of the day.
The flight will open up more connections for those who are traveling internationally from Edmonton. The flight leaves at 7:25 every morning.
The United Way is taking a new approach to show what it's like to live in poverty.
Simulation, but still built in a little bit of the stress that I can only imagine is partial to what real life is.
Participants of United Way simulation shared their feelings after being placed into families where they simulated the daily struggles of a low-income family. They had to navigate through unexpected challenges and obstacles.
They have to go to work, they have to pay their bills, they have to feed their families. And so it's just a great opportunity for people to learn a bit more about what it's actually like to be a family living with low income.
If you would like to do the simulation, the next event is on October 8th at the TELUS World of Science. Go to unitedway.ca/poverty to register.
Open Art YEG is a new project that is taking art out of the galleries and onto the streets of Edmonton. Open Edmonton developers have come up with an easy way to map out interesting art through social media. Everyone is free to participate by taking photos of any kind of art they see and posting it with the hashtag OpenArtYeg. The art is then placed onto an interactive map so others in the area can also appreciate it.
For people who haven't lived in Edmonton or don't really know all of the neighborhoods and hidden gems, this really is going to be a map that's going to help you make your own little tour to see all the really fun little things in the city.
OpenYeg is also behind other projects such as OpenYeg Piano, which places pianos in public areas for anyone to play. You can follow the hashtag OpenArtYeg for new art popping up around your area.
Coming up after the break, Edmontonians are discovering new ways to cleanse their bodies of toxins, but are they safe?
We'll check out how juice cleanses work and their potential benefits.
I did feel healthier. I felt less bogged down. I felt less tired.
Hi, I'm Aaron Bernardo, and coming up in sports, I've got some Oil Kings highlights, some ATAC golf and volleyball, and I step into a real glass case of emotion in this week's End Zone Challenge.
I'm Tim Evans. Coming up in weather, take advantage of the somewhat sunny day tomorrow as temperatures are going to slide into the single digits in the work week. I'll have the details and your provincial forecast coming up.
Well, Kara, looks like fall is here.
I'm pretty sure I saw some snow on Thursday. That's ridiculous.
NewsWatch weather specialist Tim Evans joins us now.
Yeah, thanks, girls. We did see some snow on Thursday, but as the week goes on, our chance of seeing that white stuff grows exponentially as a weak upper ridge comes into our province from BC. But starting off in Calgary, 18 degrees tomorrow, starting off at 6 with just a few clouds in the sky. Jasper, they're going 11 degrees, starting out at 3. Fort Mac is even a little cooler than Jasper, starting it off at 2, so you might have to break out those little windshield scrapers. And Edmonton we're going to be nice. 16 degrees, low of 6, but it's going to get cloudier as we go into the afternoon, starting out sunny, so get outside, enjoy that sun before it starts to cloud over. Records, averages, for this time of year, 14 degrees, 2, so we're pretty much bang on. And now for the records, 27 degrees in 2003, and let's not just look at that quite yet. It's a -9 back in 2000, but we'll just ignore that for now. Interesting weather fact, since 2000, even years, we've consistently hit at least one day of 20 degrees. Odd years, not so lucky. So this year, the fortune is ever in our favor. That's your NAIT NewsWatch weather.
NewsWatch weather, sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
The prominence of juice cleanses has risen with the advent of organic health practices.
But are they as beneficial and straightforward as believed to be? Quinton Berger has more on that story.
I did feel healthier. I felt less bogged down. I felt less tired, less lethargic.
The feelings described by Corrine Wapple were experienced after a juice cleanse.
With the new age in full swing, juice cleanses have become increasingly popular despite their strict no solid requirements.
It's a reset, right? So you're going into something, you're being disciplined, you're saying these 3 days are for me to purely focus on what I'm putting in my body and evaluating how I feel. And I think that appeals to people.
The cleanse industry has proven quite successful as alternative methods of achieving health become more popular. Yet despite harsh criticisms, many advocate the benefits of cleansing if done properly.
Juice and no other nutrients, I do feel that you would have to allot a time to do that where you can rest. But adding, say, 500 mils to a liter of juice each day, using excellent greens, vegetables including spinach, broccoli, kale, etc., that would really definitely help anybody.
And while everybody's different, some doctors say a person should only spend 2 to 3 days on a juice cleanse. Advocates of cleanses stress that they must be done properly. Cleanses are meant to be a stepping stone towards a healthier lifestyle, rather than a momentary means of justifying poor eating habits. Quentin Berger, NAIT NewsWatch.
Joining us now is our sports reporter, Aaron Bordato.
Aaron, the ACAC had such a busy week, didn't they?
Yeah, guys, a couple of fall sports are about to kick off their schedules, just as some others come to a close. The top golfers in the province battled not only each other, but the cold weather as the ACAC Golf Championships took place in Sturgeon County last weekend. With nearly every player dressed in toques and mitts, it was time to get down to business. The ACAC Championships were hosted by Grant MacEwan as the top 50 golfers in the conference came to see who would be crowned champion. Player scores were higher than usual, and while that could be due to the weather, Medicine Hat golfer Mason Rabidovich wasn't making any excuses on this day.
It's not too bad as long as the wind stays down. It'll be good. Just got to keep warm and keep the mitts on. That's pretty much it.
The NAIT Ooks were well represented with 5 players, but it was Grant MacEwan who came away with their second straight title to put an end to yet another great season for the Griffins. ACAC versus CIS. The NAIT men's volleyball team tested themselves against some tough competition in preparation for the 2014 season. Some unusual stretches were on hand when the University of Alberta hosted its 10th annual Sofaland Men's Volleyball Classic. 10 teams from across the prairies traveled to the Saville Centre to battle it out for preseason supremacy. The tournament comes just before the regular season kicks off and is used as a final tune-up.
To get all the rest off and slowly improve like communication, any other thing that helps, to get it out of the way now is definitely a big issue and big factor.
The tournament itself was a huge success, and with all proceeds earned in support of men's volleyball, the ACAC is looking as strong as ever. The boys are back at it again as the 2014 ACAC men's basketball season quickly approaches. Different team, same goal. That's the motto the NAIT men's basketball team share as they gear up for another season on the hardwood here at NAIT. Following a disappointing loss in last year's bronze medal game, the Ukes have made a few changes this year. 11 new players were added to the roster this season, and while 4 of them are first-year players, fourth-year point guard Cameron Smith doesn't think inexperience will play a factor.
We have a great mix right this year. We got a great mix of talent and experience as well as youth. I think we got a lot of guys who have played, who've been around about a lot of different leagues.
Some growing pains could be expected this year, but don't tell the team that, as they predict big things for the 2014 season. They kick off their schedule at home on October 24th. The Edmonton Oil Kings were looking to keep their undefeated record intact in the second half of a home-and-home with the Medicine Hat Tigers. After the Oil Kings were able to steal a win in the dying minutes of their last meeting, all eyes were on the goaltenders, as they would have to bring their A-game to keep the puck out of their net. Early in the first now, and it's Tigers goalie Merrick Langhammer making not 1, but 2 monster saves to keep his team in the game, despite these dudes' best efforts. Still 0-0 now, as Ty Stanton walks around Oil King defenders like they're pylons and roops his first of the year. Let's take another look at that one as he dangles past one defender and snipes top cheddar for the sick goal. That one's getting fouled away in the Dean's list. 2-0 now as the Oil Kings show their first sign of life when Brett Pollock puts home the rebound to make it a 1-score game. It'd be short-lived though, as 9 minutes later Chad Butcher goes roof daddy on Tristan Jarry to restore the 2-goal lead. These kids had other things on their minds though, as they were way more concerned with capturing this free puck. Cole Sanford would bury his second of the game and gave the Tigers all the insurance they needed. The Tigers take the rematch 4-2 on the back of Langhammer's 35 saves. After the game, Oil Kings head coach Steve Hamilton had nothing but praise for the young netminder.
He's legit. I mean, he's very comfortable in the net. He's aggressive. He doesn't give you a lot.
This week, I decided to take my talents to South Beach. And by that, I mean the racquetball courts, as I took on the LeBron James of the game in this week's End Zone Challenge. To help me out, I got three-time Canadian racquetball champion Mark Cowett to join me and teach me the finer points of the sport. After proving to the camera that he was way more limber than I was, it was time to get down and stretch out those hammies with what he calls the Spider-Man crawl. Feel free to take a second to admire those pasty white thighs of mine, as I gave it a shot too. Next up, it was time to learn how to serve. There are many types of serve, but the drive serve is the most common. Check out the comparisons between Mark's and mine. Pretty much the exact same thing. After that, it was all business, and it was on. I got a little too competitive, so Mark had to bring me back down to earth. A couple mid-game breaks later, and I was ready to tap out. Well, that sure wasn't working out, Mark. How do you think I did it?
You did pretty good for a guy who hasn't done it before. You can tell you're an athlete in the making.
Oh, thanks, man.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, guys, what did you think?
The outfit. Not really feeling it.
And you did way better than anything I could have managed, so I guess I can't judge.
Oh, thanks, Kara.
Coming up after the break, breast cancer is a vicious disease that affects thousands of Canadian men and women.
We'll check out the CIBC Run for the Cure as they raise funds to stomp out breast cancer.
You can run, you can walk, you can sprint, you can just have a leisurely stroll.
Hi, I'm Britt Prendergast, and coming up in entertainment, we take a walk with dinosaurs, see if the Edmonton Expo exceeded its expectations, and take a tour of the Edmonton Haunted House. All that and more coming up in entertainment. Hair services provided by Salon and Spa Rocks.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
On Wednesday, we went to the Glenora Community Hall to help hand out shirts to the teams participating in Run for the Cure. Teams stopped by the hall to pick up their matching team shirts in preparation for the run this weekend. Run for the Cure raises money as well as breast cancer awareness. 1 in 30 Canadian women will die from breast cancer, as it continues to be the second most common cancer among females. Last year, the run raised nearly $1.7 million.
It's really the most all-inclusive fun run that there is.
All the money raised goes towards breast cancer research and community initiatives. Run for the Cure is this Sunday. You can show your support by cheering on the teams in Churchill Square at 10 a.m.
The Edmonton Expo brought out the city's inner nerd.
And some pretty big numbers, too. Britt Prendergast has all that and more in entertainment.
The Edmonton Comic and Entertainment Expo exceeded its expectations with a record-breaking attendance this year.
Beautiful people here and good-looking people like myself.
The third annual Expo welcomed 47,000 fans over the three-day event. That's 20,000 more than last year.
Cowabunga, little dude. Yeah.
This year's event brought out the inner nerd in every age, as well as fabulous costume designs and makeup.
I like going out and having people actually come up and knowing who you are. I don't know, I think that's really cool when people can come up and be like, I know who you are, can I have a picture?
Adding Friday evening increased exhibition space and an attractive lineup of workshops, panels, attractions, and invited guests. The month of October always gets you thinking of Halloween, and this year, Edmonton Haunted House promises a good scare. Edmonton has been in the works since February, and the owner, Ryan Kozar, hopes to bring the community together to share some screams.
There's nothing like that in Edmonton. There's nothing to do for adults at Halloween time, so I thought, hey, we should do this.
The Haunted House will be open this month, Thursday to Saturday evenings.
Well, there is a storyline. It's basically the Williams Haunted Farm. So, and the story is they basically operated a pumpkin patch, and there was a flood that happened and kind of destroyed the family business. So it kind of secluded them to their farm, and then basically it goes from there. You can imagine what happens.
Tickets can be purchased at the door or online at edmontonhouse.com. Walking with Dinosaurs, the Arena Spectacular stomped into Edmonton for its third tour. With 9 large drivable dinosaurs, the show is more realistic than ever.
You've got a headset on at the same time, so you're getting your cues through your puppeteer who's controlling where you're going and how fast you're moving and keeping an eye on you.
The show takes you back to the times of the dinosaurs with every aspect of life they believe these creatures had, walking the audience through the past.
It's kind of a strange position for horror, don't you think? But it's possible.
The show continues its Canadian swing in Saskatoon and Winnipeg before heading back into America mid-October. The Doll Club of Edmonton celebrated with its 30th anniversary show this past weekend.
This is absolutely gorgeous.
The annual show was open to the public with sales of dolls, teddy bears, and toys.
It's about bringing together dealers who bring merchandise that are doll, teddy bear, vintage toy related, together with those people who are looking to add that to their collections. Many of them are members of our own doll club.
The event was held at the Edmonton Aviation Museum.
Vintage and antique dolls or modern collectible dolls. There is a wide variety of merchandise here.
The Doll Club is always looking for new members. If you're interested, please visit dollclub.shawwebspace.ca. I'm extremely excited about this week's viral video. It's not often you get these videos coming right out of the Edmonton area. 11-year-old Taylor Hatella from Sherwood Park shows us her amazing dance moves with her choreographer, Lawrence Kaway.
My anaconda don't, my anaconda don't, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Taylor learned this dance in only 1 hour. The video has now over 7 million views, which landed the pair on Ellen.
Here to dance for you. I love them so much. 11-year-old Taylor and her choreographer, Lawrence.
They came out and absolutely lit up the dance floor, bringing Ellen's crowd to their feet, and not to mention leaving Ellen a little jealous.
I love that so much. That girl is so good. Give anything to dance like that, ever in my life. Just once, just once.
I couldn't agree more with Ellen. She is absolutely fabulous. I'm Britt Prendergast, and that's this week's look at entertainment.
Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.
We'll see you next week.